And as you can see, we have here a panel of experts, owners, investors, brand representatives, service providers, and I think that having in mind the fact that we have 80 minutes, we are, let's say, lucky enough to have enough time. Yes, because at the beginning this was the pressure. I would really like to say a couple of words about each and every one of our panelists, because understanding their background will help you and us to understand better what they are transmitting us, and will help us to address more relevant questions, I think. And I will start alphabetically with Anca Nedia.
Yes, I'm an A.
You are an A. This is, you know, the plus and the minus of having a name that starts with A. So let me introduce Anca Nedia. I know Anca since 19 years. We were, let's say, graduates of the first AHL program in Romania 19 years ago, and this was quite an experience. Thank you, Ray and Chris Mikuts, for this experience. Anca is a strong leader, full of energy and driven by a genuine desire to make a significant impact through all her projects, and you will see why I'm saying this. Anca is the co-owner and executive director at Opalesa, Hotel Opal by the Sea, Cap Aurora. She's also former president of the National Authority for Tourism in Romania, owner and CEO of a consulting management company, executive director of Mamaia Constanța Professional Association, and former GM for Yaki, Ana Hotels, just to mention a couple of Anca's roles. Having these diverse roles, Anca, I think it helped you to have a broader perspective on, let's say, not only on the market, but on the hospitality in general in Romania, and especially in that area in which you are operating now, or hotel owning and operating. We understand all the location is a crucial factor. And when location does not exist, we need to build it somehow. You are a specialist in this area, and we would like to share, for you to share with us some, let's say, insights from how to develop a destination, and insights from what you did at the Black Sea, Romanian Black Sea.
The mic is on, so thank you. Nina, thank you for such a, I don't know, nice introduction to my professional activity. Yes, destination management was very important for Romania. When other travel destinations, they are facing, you know, suffocating travel markets, we are just building destination. After you know, starting and pre-opening and opening resorts on the Black Sea, Romanian Black Sea, I start to understand that building just a museum, it's not enough. It was 10 years ago, and I start to work with my owners, because I was managing consultancy also, starting to explain them, you have to put the money where you have demand for destination, not just for a product or services, and for this you start to care about what is around you. Because we had no clue in Romania what DMOs means and what integrated management for a destination means, I took advantage of my position to the Minister of Tourism, and I write a law, and this law became life, and now I'm so happy not only to have DMOs in Romania on the most important travel markets, but also to have 3 generations of people which follow the program of the destination management organization manager, which I convinced Academia de Studii Economice, ASE București, to make it like a normal program, every year program. So more and more professionals in Romania start to understand why it's important to have integrated management destinations. Yes, when you are looking from investors' point of view, for sure, looking for a market or looking for a destination, it's important. You know, you are not looking for the right hotel, the right number of rooms, the right location, I don't know, on the sea, in the middle of the forest, by the mountains. You are looking for a destination. The destination attracts first. You know, Black Sea Coast, it's the hardest tourist model in Romanian tourists, because you have 3 months, everybody knows in Romania, you have to make the right revenues with the revenue management on the volume of rooms you have. You know, take the best of it to survive 12 months.
Yeah, quite the pressure, but still
a lot of pressure.
Somehow you managed, and not only you. There are some success stories also on the Black Sea Coast in Romania.
We have a lot, and I will. It's not, of course, not just an interest, but I will advise the potential investors to look for the Black Sea Coast now, because we have already some interesting points to be watched, like. A lot of investors want to make an exit. They become old, you know, maybe they don't have the next generation. The fiscality is very, very hard, and the chain will survive easier than, you know, individuals. A lot of pressure from local authorities to do the things right. Before it was different, but now you have to do the thing right. Import of ISO authorization, how you are handling your staff, etc. So they want to make an exit. Taking south part of the Romanian Black Sea Coast, for example, we have large spaces, great landmarks, white beaches. The rebuilding of Romanian beaches, the project, the pilot project of EU finished. Almost, we have 1 year left, and Romania has a lot of spaces on the beach now. This is an opportunity also to develop extra services like clubs, restaurants on the beach, parties, events. So south part has a huge potential. Infrastructure, local infrastructure. The local authorities already gain a lot of European funds, and they rebuild Saturn. They put their money in Neptune. Now it's Cap Aurora. They rebuild new walking areas, a lot of new facilities. So I will go to south part. For Mamaia, which was, I don't know, the locomotive for Romanian Black Sea Coast, I will say is still in trend. Of course, the lack of infrastructure for destination doesn't help. We have promise from local authorities, but they are just promises. But still, you have Vibe, you have Constanța. Constanța in the past 3 years developed a lot in terms of attractiveness. And we have, I don't know, 8 months with a lot of events, 5 months with the festivals, parties on the beach, party on the coast. Constanța, it's a huge potential with Mamaia taken together. And for a conference and events segment, for example, May, June, September, October are the greatest. We have accommodation, we have conferences, we have spas. So still have potential. I will choose south part for the number of rooms of the properties. We are talking about 200, 300 at least rooms on a property. Mamaia is between 100 to 150, 20. And of course, Mamaia Nord, the new baby of the Romanian Black Sea Coast, now it's in trend. A lot of buildings, a lot of investment in 5-star hotels, trendy restaurants, high-end beach investments, you know, really a different level, like the rest of the Romanian Black Sea Coast, which I'll say it's around 3-4 stars, depending of south part or north parts. But I will definitely look for Romanian Black Sea Coast now. And from this point of view, we still have to do a lot in terms of accessibility. It's okay, but in terms of accessibility in destination, architecture, public architecture, public services. So from this point of view, again, South, it's more appealing.
Thank you so much, Anca, for your very specialized insights in that region. I may say that you are a great ambassador for Romanian Black Sea Coast,
you,
and I appreciate this. I will go now to Otilo Ios. Otilo is the CEO and GM at Aropalace SA, with nearly 20 years in the hospitality industry, specialized in luxury and exclusive hotel management, having leadership roles in several key positions, and strong abilities and understanding of the luxury market, also with analytical approach and project management skills. Everything here, it helps you now with the two projects that you have under development. Currently, you have two older hotels in Brașov, talking about destinations, so something different, not Bucharest, which are going to be transformed into branded hotels. It's going to be Capitol into Mercure, and the iconic Aropalace into Hyatt. So having myself personally this experience of transforming old buildings and giving them a new life, I know there are a lot of challenges. I know that this is business, and it's very well to identify such gems to be transformed, but also I know you can share with us some insights, some lessons, and some perspectives related with this topic.
Hello everyone, and thank you, Nina, for the too nice presentation. As you mentioned, we have two major projects ongoing right now in Brașov. We are renovating the former Capitol Hotel, having 179 keys, transforming it into Mercure Brașov City Center. And the iconic Aropalace Hotel, including the old wing, with a total outcome of approximately 260 keys under the brand of Hyatt Regency, Aropalace Brașov. Just a short statistical data, in 2022, Brașov had only one branded hotel and just a few unbranded locations or destinations, with an estimated demand of 1,200 hotel rooms. So in response of this, in 2023, there were already 600 rooms under development in Brașov. And this number is permanently growing today, and this growing includes our two projects as well. As we are all familiar with the main importance of branding a city hotel, we all know that without a proper branding, a proper quality standards, or global contracts, loyalty, and so forth, whatever a brand can bring into the table, we have difficulties to put our services in value in the same effective way, so that underlines the importance of branding. We also are familiar with the regular challenges, let's say, of the approval processes regarding the local authorities, the deadlines, the suppliers, the project management, the pressure from the shareholders, and so forth. So I will mention just two particular cases which I'm expecting to meet in the following period. The first one is the cost controlling, where the costs are highly influenced by the brand's expectation. And here we have colleagues who can confirm or infirm this.
And
this
also,
aspect.
sorry to interrupt, and also about the surprises of an old building.
Definitely.
Because you are discovering them step by step.
And as far as I know, you've had quite a few surprises in your development.
I don't want to share anymore, but I'm sure that you are going to have your own surprises.
So we have an old wing, historical wing, which is going to be renovated, and we are still expecting the results of the structural expertise. And the other challenge will be regarding the fact that we are planning to do the renovation with the hotel operational, first of all, to maintain some cash flow. And second of all, we don't want to lose connection with our teams, with our team members, and with our customers, our clients, our agencies, which we are working with, which definitely will bring some operational challenges and impact on guest experience, which has to be treated on the way accordingly. And I would like to dive a bit into major important investment as well. I was very happy that I heard this thing quite a few times in the morning panels. The investment in the team. And as we are already moving forward with the development of the infrastructure, we simultaneously made the first steps of creating a strong team of professionals. We were aiming to achieve the proper level of services, the proper level of handling of the daily branded operations in the following years. We started to involve them in the whole investment process in every phase of it. We started to empower them to take active roles in the investment process. And we involved them, including in the stage of building up strategies. So I truly believe that this way our colleagues can feel an active part of not only of the process, but of the outcome of the final product as well. We are still in the process of implementing a strong company culture based on the three major elements which we believe in: ethics, integrity, and very important, trust. And when I mean trust, I'm not talking about something with a beginning or and an end, but rather a perpetuity in three fields: trust back and forth to our suppliers, to our clients, and to our employees as well. Assuring them of psychological safety, and there is another example which I have to mention here. We've had a call, an online meeting last week, or actually 2 weeks before, with a major travel agency, a tour operator with headquarters in the United States and Switzerland, who after we've kind of arranged a deal, let's say, for 2027 for Hyatt. He confirmed that he chose us because of the fact that we have soul, and because of the fact that he knows, he trusts us, that his clients, his customers are in good hands, and complaint management is taken care properly, and so forth. So the importance and the prioritization of building up a strong company culture relies on the fact that today, when there are plenty of brands, plenty of operators, owners, and so many hospitality companies acting, we feel that the ones that really stand out are the ones that can prove a strong sense of identity based on the company culture. And as this takes time, as it is a transformational process, we've started it, and we are planning to reach out to its finality altogether with the infrastructural investments which we are starting right now.
Thank you, Attila. I also know that it's far easier to build a new building and to build a new team than to reconvert and change the habits of an old team. And with this in mind, I know that we are going to have next year another interesting opening in Bucharest on the luxury side. And I'm going to introduce Christophe Chamboncel. He's the executive director at Niro Investment Group with 20 years of leadership experience. He's a result-driven optimist and believes in empowering people, fostering creativity, and turning challenges into opportunities. Prior to Niro, Christophe spent nearly 2 decades with Accor, culminating in his role as Vice President of Operations Management for Southern Eastern Europe. In this capacity, he oversaw operations for 30 hotels while supporting the development of an additional of 20 properties across the region. So, quite an experience in developing hotels and opening hotels. But now you prepare to launch Corinthia Bucharest. And we have a very small video, and I would like you to play it, if it's possible. It's a significant investment in a historical building. This means a very long-term, let's say, perspective. And you surely want to emphasize the importance of considering long-term proposals and prospects in hospitality real estate. There is also a video. Thank you. While the video will play and you will see spectacular images, I'm going to address you the first question, Christophe. What emerging trends should investors monitor to anticipate the future of hospitality real estate, and how do you see the next 5-10 years in times of growth and key factors that could drive this growth?
Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Nina. I don't know if you hear me. Yeah. Shall we see the video first, or do you want us to speak? Please go ahead. So until the video is launched, Nina, it's a pleasure to see you again. Very pleased to see you on the other side of the corridor. We were together on the panel together. But allow us to have a look at the video as we speak. Indeed, I've been hearing the people talking on the panel right now. It's true that Corinthia Bucharest Grand Boulevard Hotel has been quite challenging in the sense that it was a historical building. This means that basically we had to adapt ourselves and to modify and to basically mix modernity and cultural heritage at the same time. It was quite a difficult, challenging, I would say, project. But right now I'm very glad and very happy to mention that Q1 2025 we're going to open the hotel. Actually, I shouldn't say hotel actually. I should say boutique hotel. It's a 30-suite apartment. It's an amazing property. We are very proud of having partnership with Corinthia. When we're talking about cultural, it's cultural revival. I've been talking about that last week with a colleague of mine, and you know, the fact of bringing to the city and bringing back to Bucharest such a building, historical building, which, by the way, for those that know, it's one of the oldest hotels in Bucharest. First one that had basically lifts, first one that had basically water inside. So you can imagine that now bringing that to the city and returning to the city such a property as this one. We are very proud of what has been done. We are very proud of having partnership with Corinthia, as I said, as a hotel operator. But at the same time, it's not only about hotel operations, it's about F&B, and we are very much focused on that. And we strongly believe that, and with all due respect to my colleague, I've been in Accor for 20 years, I think I know what I'm talking about, is as much as hotel operators are very good in terms of rooms, accommodation, meeting rooms, and breakfast, obviously, we strongly believe, and this is the trend that you currently see, that obviously when you want to have something a bit higher in terms of experience, we've been talking about experience, F&B obviously is an experience. And therefore you need to have the specialized people running the F&B outlets. So this is what we're going to do. This is what we're doing. We have signed as well a management contract with SAS Café. For those that know Monaco, it's obviously an old institution, 30 years, like Nero. There is no coincidence. They started 30 years ago. They will be operating SAS Café and the Speakeasy, which is nearby, and actually as well all the F&B outlets, of course, under the management of Corinthia being the hotel operator.
And everything is going to be open together, so
everything
all the facilities?
Everything will be opening together. Everything will be opening together. March 2025. I will mention something, but this should stay among us only. Huh? Don't repeat it. Huh? I invite you... Yes, eyes on eyes. On Friday, this Friday, we will be doing the lightning of Christmas. So if by chance you are walking down Calia Victoria, go around, walk around, have a look at it, and you will experience something amazing. That will be on Friday.
Thank you. So the entire
but
facade...
just between us, please.
Just between us.
What time?
When the sun will fall, 5:36, obviously.
That's very, very rewarding, I think. It's a trophy asset. Hopefully, it's also very efficient in business-wise. And I think we have a lot of other questions for you, but we will go a little bit further. And I will introduce Mr. Dan Marin. Firstly in English, then I will address the question in Romanian. Because, as you mentioned, it's not only about rooms, it's about experiences. And experience means food and beverage, and experience means people working, serving people. And Mr. Dan Marin, he's the director of Batia International Romania. The company Batia International Romania represents HR Batia services from India. Before establishing his representative offices together with Mr. Marin, this company operated also in Romania through various intermediaries. It is a recruitment and HR consultancy company with extensive experience, dating back in the early 70s. Over the years, it has collaborated with more than 1,000 clients globally and deployed over 1 million candidates worldwide. So quite an expertise. Mr. Dan Marin, with your experience already with Batia, can you share us some insights and, for example, what sets you apart from other recruitment companies currently operating in the market? So, ce vă diferențiază de alte companii de recrutare care activează în prezent pe piață? Și era și o foarte scurtă prezentare a companiei Batia. Vă rog.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you for the presentation and invitation. And I'm not the governor of Romania, but I will switch to Romania. Noi suntem pe piață din acest an, ca companie românească, dar partenerul nostru din India are o experiență de peste 50 de ani în domeniu. Resursa cea mai importantă este și resursa umană pentru industria hospitalității și pentru alte industrii. Ceea ce ne diferențiază, ca să intru direct în subiect, față de alte agenții, după cum știm, pe piață sunt foarte multe agenții. În primul rând, avem această particularitate că nu depindem de intermediari. Avem propria noastră bază de date, atât de parteneri cât și de candidați, care a fost consolidată în toți acești ani de activitate. Un alt lucru, cred eu, este profesionalismul echipei și echipelor care lucrăm. Nu numai că găsim foarte rapid cei mai buni candidați, dar ne și asigurăm că aceștia corespund cerințelor clienților și avem o reprezentare aproape 7 zile din 7, 24 de ore, avem o fel de post-garanție pentru clienți. Al treilea lucru care ne diferențiază este flexibilitatea. Știm că fiecare client creează o cerință unică, are o cerință unică și atunci încercăm să venim cu soluții personalizate pentru fiecare client.
Ați menționat că nu aveți intermediari. Asta înseamnă că sunteți prezenți cu birouri în ce țări?
Avem birouri de recrutare, avem peste 300 de birouri de recrutare în Asia, inclusiv Emiratele Arabe și Nigeria. Toate țările limitrofe Indiei, Filipine, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, avem birouri de recrutare.
Și recrutați în mod special pentru hospitality sau nu neapărat și pentru alte industrii?
Nu neapărat pentru hospitality. Hospitalitatea este una din prioritățile noastre. Aducem pentru construcții, servicii, IT, sănătate. Cam astea sunt domeniile vulnerabile în momentul respectiv în România.
Da, multe domenii vulnerabile pe zona de resurse umane.
Da.
Mulțumim frumos. Am să mai revin cu o întrebare și către dumneavoastră. Meanwhile, we need to talk a little bit more about the expansion plans that AIG has in Romania. And for that, I'm going to introduce Mr. Miguel Martins. Miguel is the head of department for Northern Europe at AIG, one of the world's leading hotel companies. He's responsible for leading and developing IHG brand portfolio across Northern Europe and covering 23 countries, identifying new business opportunities, Miguel and his team work to deliver value for both franchised and managed hotels across luxury, upscale, mainstream brands. During his tenure with IHG, he has successfully signed over 45 new deals across the region. With extensive international experience in hotel development and hotel operations, he has been involved in over 20 projects in Europe. Prior to joining IHG in 2015, Miguel co-founded Polish hotel company as the strategic growth partner, responsible for the rollout of some of IHG most well-known brands in Poland, such as Holiday Inn Express, Indigo, and Crown Plaza. Miguel also worked as a senior consultant at an international hotel and asset management company based in Portugal, where he was involved in various projects under local and international brands. Miguel, with your extensive experience, and I don't understand your decision moving from Portugal to Poland and Eastern Europe, but anyway, and your deep understanding of both the benefits and challenges in these fields, could you share with us how can a brand support a hotel investment in achieving a long-term outlook, seizing future opportunities, and what emerging trends should investors focus on? What's your opinion on these topics?
Thank you very much, and hello everyone. First of all, thank you very much for being at the Crown Plaza, Budapest. I think we need to emphasize it's one of our babies here in Romania. And as you heard with all this description, it sounds that I'm very, very old with all this experience, and why I'm actually in this market and not in Southern Europe. I think for a long time, and just before answering to all the multiple questions, for a long time my passion has been entrepreneurship, and it has been the creation and the development, especially of hotels, because that's the only thing I know to talk, and that's my totality of my experience. And obviously the markets where I was, they had a different maturity from the maturity that it was not still existing, especially in Eastern Europe. I was based in Warsaw for over 17 years, and I saw the opportunity to enter into a market which at that point in time it was not developed. I remember that we had 3.7 kilometers of a highway, and everybody would press the pedal until 200 kilometers per hour just to make a point that they were using the highway. I'm telling all this story because, again, in all the opportunities that I have to come here to Romania and to speak about this country, I always make this, some of you already heard it many times and don't take it in a nice way. But I see exactly the same potential at that time when I arrived in the Polish market 17 years ago with the Romanian market. And I saw that especially in the last 7 years. Already my colleagues mentioning here about the evolution of the brands in some regional cities that they were not present, or there was just one international brand in there. And in a way, we saw this potential on a very good comparison to what was happening in Poland. We started talking about this before the panel. I think that we still are missing one key fundamental, which is infrastructures. I think this is a big delta that you find today in the Polish market, and this is vital. It is vital for people to be able to commute. For also we're talking about talent and about the capability of retaining talent, infrastructures and communication. This is vital, and this is something that we need to emphasize in here. Apart from that, and let's be very clear, our strategy and our growth strategy in Romania, it's not Bucharest. It's always this common thing that, okay, here is a big international chain that comes, and capital city, Bucharest, and they just want to do 8-9 hotels and they go back home. Every single market that I've been responsible, together with Andrzej Szymczyk, responsible for the region, it's always have been to define a strategy for the market, understanding its potential not only in the capital city, but also in the secondary cities. And we also learned today about the potential of leisure destinations as well. Obviously, you all know what we have passed in terms of an industry, especially after COVID and all the trends that came from that. Obviously, the impact as well of the war as well into our industry. But again, it's necessary to understand, and you were tackling about how brand can help to investors. We as a global chain, we always have a long-term view on everything that we do. And this is why I'm dwelling on the strategy. It's not a short-term strategy, it's a long-term strategy built obviously on cross-selling opportunities, on being able to provide customers with different products, with different brands. And this is exactly how we transmit that to the partnership that we do with our investors.
Yeah, I would highlight something. It's related with the destination. Also, the brands help us a lot with the destination. So they help us put on the map secondary, tertiary cities in Romania. And this is something that you cannot do it very quickly. And as Anca mentioned, you need years and years and strategies in order to do that. And together with that policies and that strategies, the fact that there are branded hotels all over the country, that will help a lot.
And the more the merrier. I mean, again, I think that this is a market where everybody has an opportunity to be in. In that regards, we don't take anything personal when we hear talking about other brands and not ours. Good luck with those projects and with those opportunities. I think this is a combination of efforts, right? Your success is our success and vice versa. Because we need to have good good hotels in the country to attract more and more tourists. And it's only by a customer being happy when going back to the plane or to the train that we actually can continue to build up on the destination. You touched the point in there about the brands helping to build the destinations. Yes, but it is just one more element to many other elements, right? And I think it's very important that we need to work also with investors, with partners that have the same vision as we have, okay? And we talked about, or we heard about challenges with brand standards. Some of the times it's a very emotional conversation about, oh, why do I have to do this, that, and that? But on a long-term perspective, if it's going to help with the POMEC, with the maintenance of the building, we should make those investments on the beginning and not after 5 years when we can disrupt the operation and the guest satisfaction. So it's a combined effort. We need to work with partners, with investors, because as we heard, we have mostly two business models, management agreements and franchise agreements. So we are always with a partner or with an investor to be able to drive the brand. And it's not about only the brand on the roof. It's the quality of the product, it's the quality of the service. So the brand is just one beginning of the story, but everything needs to come in an alignment.
Yeah, we totally agree that a brand can help you mitigate a lot of risks, as you mentioned. So also related with the quality of the building, the operational aspects and so on. So safety, everything, exactly. Although at the beginning we don't like this, because yes, there is a pressure on the budget, and
it's again, it's not a matter of I think liking or disliking. I think it's more about how you actually build up the trust, and this is a very important word in every line of business. How you build up that trust, because it's not only about money. If the investor understands that he can have a good return on investment after a couple of years, then there is no more discussion about it, right?
Has to be bankable first, at least.
But exactly, so I think that there needs to be a rationale behind every single decision, and there needs to be also something that I hate talking about, but there needs to be an educational process as well, some of the times, to understand two different views on the matter, right? And again, it doesn't mean that we know everything. I mean, we are learning every day as an international chain. And also one of the things that we have been doing, and this is quite important messaging actually to deliver, 3 years ago, we took the decision to break Europe into business divisional units. So it was also an understanding that we need to get more localized and also understand a bit better what are the requirements locally for us to also understand them and to be able to have an open conversation about them. So I think we, again, as a chain, we are mindful that we also need to be locally relevant and just not to dictate that we want to do this just because, right? So then there needs to have that communication going.
And it's a partnership, as you mentioned. Talking about experience in investment, we have here together with us Sar Sharon, and he's the managing director at Westridge Asset Management, a boutique asset management advisory company. He's a hotel and real estate transaction specialist with over 32 years of commercial experience, advising on disposals, acquisitions, asset management, funding, development, office conversions, leasing and management, franchise agreement across all hotel asset classes in UK and Europe. Over the years, SARS has held senior positions also with Colliers, Leonardo Hotels, PPHE and JLL, and since 2005, he has helped investors, operators, hotel brands and lenders to generate returns through hotel disposals, acquisitions, funding and asset management. To date, SAR has been involved with hotel property worth more than £12 billion in the UK and Europe, working also for public and private companies. And since the inception of Westridge Asset Management company in 2016, you advised on deals worth over £5 billion of hotel real estate deals, including successful acquisition of 102 hotels, comprised of 20,000 bedrooms, valued over £12 billion. So, oh, sorry. you are going to complete.
Wonderful, but not too much, please.
No, really. What I wanted to emphasize is the fact that you have such an extensive experience in working with investors, owners, and with money, because yes, money is not the ultimate goal, but if everything is done well, should be the right, let's say, result, outcome. What do you consider to be essential factors for a successful investment? If you are going to simplify it for us.
I'll try. Can you hear me at the back? This way? Yes?
It's not okay for the simultaneous translation. The ladies are.
Is it easier for you guys to translate? I'll do it for you. Okay, great. Didn't realize they're sitting in a acoustic box for a second. So thank you, Nina, for very very kind words. If we want to distill, investments, especially with hotels, we need to look at ownership. We need to look at funding. We need to look at brand and management, if you like, is triangle of interest. And we can talk about the staffing. We can talk about the guest. Obviously, the guest ultimately sits between or among this combination of who is the owner, what are their values, how they want to drive the business, the operations, and the funding of this, which in different countries mean different things. But let's assume we have, in a traditional sense, equity contribution from an owner and a senior lending secured on a mortgage from a bank. So that's the typical model. And if I pose a question to the audience and I say, what's the single most important thing in hotel investment, you would say, come on, somebody. Location. So, and you'd ask different people and you'll get different answers. For me, it's always been location. Location for me is the most significant driver for any real estate investment, particularly for hotels. The second most important thing, people would say, and we have the divergence of opinion here, and the different countries, and they behave slightly differently, sometimes very differently. For me, the second most important thing would be the quality of the management team. The third thing would be the quality of the design and the FF&E and the build, the character of the building. And then, in no particular order, and that would be controversial, you'll have the quality of service and staffing, and I know some people rate it really high. I think we can compensate a lot through engineering and design and technology, and in the future AI and virtual reality, and we're not even tickling that, and we'll get there. We have an acute shortage of employees wherever we go, almost in any country, and we cannot in perpetuity imagine that service in hotels will be done forever only through people. Whether they come from India or Bangladesh or Romania or London, it doesn't really matter. So those are for me the main criteria. And for me, brand in that sense is a way of bringing business into the hotel. I work a lot with brands, I negotiate a lot with brands, franchise agreements, management contracts, and so on. They have an important place in the lives of the clients I've been working with for many, many years, but they're not the one answer to all the problems, and we need to recognize that there needs to be, as Miguel said, alignment between the owner and the brand in terms of values. It needs to suit the business, it needs to suit the building, and so on. And we need to find the right equilibrium in any of those transactions. And there's another thing we need to remember when we work with brands is that brands take a very long-term view on the building. We're talking about long-term franchise agreements that could be, 20, 25 years in length. And unlike you, Anka, I'm not that concerned about the cost. The cost needs to represent a return on investment, so I'm agnostic in that sense. What I am worried about always is the downside and what happens if things go wrong. So if you got the alignment and you chose the brand correctly and the brand is the right brand and you will do very well, and you can go into this relationship for a very long time. But if things don't go well, then as an owner you sit on a contract for 20 years and you could have issues. So we always need to balance those opportunities. I think we can expand that in many ways, but that's probably the short version answer to your question.
Yeah, I also can encourage all the panelists to share their vision about these aspects, but also the audience. We would be very happy to hear your questions, what concerns you, and maybe some other perspectives. So feel free from now on to intervene, please, because of course we have a lot of questions to address, but we would really like to see what interests you really today. If not, I'm going to, please.
I have a question. If you're allowed to put a question. Sorry, guys. So I'm really curious, and maybe I want to manipulate the conversation in some direction, but that this is what women do. It's very interesting. You said about strong culture, and they chose you because of the strong sense of culture you build, and I'm sure it's true, and I have all the appreciation. But we have a problem, for example, building a strong culture on Romanian Black Sea coast due to the seasonality. It's logical. We are shifting from, 10, 15 people to 150. And you have also a problem because nowadays stuff is changing very fast. They are simply running, they lack of interest, they don't give a damn. So how do you still keep your culture? I know operational standards, but give me something else. Because maybe we can relate a little bit with IE and to see what we will do. Thank you, this was my question.
Okay, so first of all, we are on this path. We are moving from upstairs to downstairs. So we are trying to stabilize our management team first of all, and then we are creating what I call the critical mass, which can pull after any new employee. I mean, either they pull the new employees after on the same direction, either they just eliminate it. So that's the main tool which we use to maintain this culture which I mentioned. And another solution which I met, especially in foreign countries, not necessarily here in Romania, which might be a solution for the issue of the seasonality of the Black Sea, where the seasonal workforce it's even more accentuated, or it brings an even higher challenge. It might be the shared employees with the mountain region, for example, or something similar. So this way
Thank
you
you.
have the same employees and every season the mountain region has the same employees and
Yes, actually, our host, Mr. Kopos, is doing this for a long time with a lot of success. But anyway, you maintain a core a core team, to say like this. Try, especially management. It's very important on this. Okay, thank you for the answer.
most welcome. I thank you for the question.
Anka, you mentioned something about the way you are using AI in your, I don't know, everyday operations, or in the way you are building the destination awareness.
Yes, Nina, actually I'm, picking brains for ideas, not that already, online it's full of it. Because for us, yes, it's very difficult starting with the staff, of course. And I'm very glad that I already find a solution. And we establish a partnership. I want Opal, our property, to be the first in the program to try the robot reception. Because yes, we have especially uneducated staff to the reception. And maybe in Bucharest and city markets is not a problem, but for destination which are not city is a real problem. Reception, it's, the first contact with the guest. Actually now, IE has to be, or online to be the first contact with the guest, and it really is. But it's the second, to say like this. And it's not about money. Money are important. I'm financial controller, so I'm all the time I'm thinking about it. But it's lack of education, lack of skills of handling the tourist problems between them, because we don't have time enough to build, a culture team. And I think we have to face this new solution. It's a lot of work to do for sure, because you start raising questions about how to integrate it with PMS, how to integrate it with BMS, how to integrate it with accounting and financial, how you'll take your data and yes, everything. But we have to start somewhere. And all the time hospitality, hoteliers were very, we are on the back of the wave. We are just relying on people. Like my panel colleague says, we have to change for sure. And if we are not changing fast enough, the time will change us. So I think we have to look for this kind of instrument. Also in destination management, IE becomes more and more important. We see IE how it's handling mass circulation. For example, a destination which are suffocated about tourists, they already used this in order to program visit and to influence the traveler to pick different hours. You think you make your choice yourself, but actually the IE is doing the choice, manipulating you in choose different or different schedule. We see IE handling guest satisfaction. We are talking, with somebody which is so nice from sales and reservation, but actually it's IE. We have already campaigns, a decision of consume something influenced massively by IE. So I think we don't have to wait. We have to start to become friends with these instruments for increasing our business value and, of course, our rentability.
That's very interesting. Yeah, please.
Anka, this is a subject which is basically something which is touching me a lot, AI and technology. Back some years before, I was in charge, when I was working for Accor, to develop basically a system to run into personalization. I want to highlight something very important. In our industry, hospitality, emotion, experience is the key. AI will not replace that. Thank God for now. Don't get me wrong. Before, what happens until you get the customer at the hotel? Okay. At the end of the day, what is important, and this is where the hotel operators have a lot of things to do here, is how they can basically ease the system by stopping filling documents at arrival. But we know this is happening. It has to go even further, faster, to allow and spend much more time with the customers at the end of the day. So AI, no problem. Technology, fine. BMS, very fine. reducing energy, very good at the cost of reducing at the end of the day. But it's very, very important at the end of the day that it should be at the service of the employees and not the other way around. And at the end of the day, when you have understood that, get rid of the reception counters, welcome the guests in the rooms, in the lobby, wherever, but stop having this barrier, which exists for many years. But these things are changing gradually, and thank God AI is helping for that. But let's not forget that there should be a human contact at the end of the day. That's super important.
I'm 100% with you, probably because we are almost, I don't know, around, the same sector of age, to say like this. But what you will do when the next generation, which are walking on the street looking on their mobiles, they don't want a human contact. They are so bored, and you are stealing from their time, to listen and to ask a very tiring, I don't know, employee from where you are bringing, doesn't matter, one country, or Romanian, doesn't matter, which is pissed off that he didn't, I don't know, sleep enough. One day somebody from accounting postpone his salary. They have reasons, and actually they don't have patience to wait for any answer. They don't like our human contact. They just want to take what they are expecting and move on because they have their experience with their gangs, in their clubs, in their virtual clubs, sorry. So I'm just saying, hospitality, which again, so you prove my point, thank you. We are very, and I'm proud also, I'm hospitalier, it's normal. Our principle, our ideas, and everything, it's about human experience, and I don't want to live in a world without it, but what happens if somebody stole already our game and we are in the back?
I tell you, Anka, what we are doing, because I cannot say anything in the name of Miguel's brand, but I can tell you what we are doing. As there is a mentality shift period which we are facing right now, that we still have the customers who are coming and they are expecting to have the two-buttoned heating and cooling up and down switch on the room and the master switch at the bed head, and they don't want to see anything else. But we also have to consider the fact that exactly what you said, that in 2024, 60% of the bookings were made by millennials and Generation Z customers. Which means that they don't want, as you said, most of them, they don't even want to see a receptionist at the hotel. So this is why we have to implement all the technology which they need, the IoT, the app control switches, Bluetooth-enabled locks, the biometrics, or mobile self-check-in, self-checkout, and so forth. So this is the solution. Like in this shifting period, we have to combine both solutions and both types of technology.
No, I'll just add. I mean, I completely subscribe what you just said. Technology needs to work to us. We cannot be working for technology, right? And I think it's spot on, this comment about the fact that we have, one thing is talking about technologies and many solutions within the hospitality business. Other thing is to have AI to replace the whole experience and so forth. You were touching base in there that they look to their phones, they don't want to have interaction and so forth. Maybe they're not a guest for a certain type of brand or product, right? Because if they go to a restaurant and they want to have good food and to have a good experience, I'm not sure how they can succeed that by looking to a phone. Okay? So maybe they want to go to a burger or something that spits from a cash machine or whatever not. But again, I think we need also to be a bit, we need to always put a pinch of salt on everything, right? We have an increased volume of demand in terms of people that want to visit different countries, and ultimately they want to have an experience. That experience will not be achieved by people looking at the phone, or actually they will have that experience from their bedroom, because they will not have also the money to afford to go and travel and to spend money in good restaurants and good hotels. So there is already a big and long debate about I was in Stockholm 2 weeks ago, and they said, Miguel, I don't know if you're going to get sick about this experience, but Now let's fly you over Stockholm and you will see the entire city on your own. And by the way, you can do this sitting in Frankfurt or wherever you want to be. I will never be part of that generation, right? I would rather prefer to go myself, waiting to enter into a plane and to go and travel. But yes, there will be a lot of guests, of new guests that will be serving that experience. But I think we need, again, to put a bit of pinch of salt, because if we are believing that that's going to be our end customer on the end of the day, we also start taking too much into the whole experience, and then we will damage the brand on the end of the day. There are, and this is why there are different brands for different experiences. I agree with what Sar mentioned about the service element and the lack of shortage of staff. I'm a big believer that we will evolve to a situation where higher brands would have service, lower brands would not have service. It's just going to be an add-on element. You would have the luxury to have somebody to welcome you, but you might have products in the market where the business plan doesn't work anymore. And this is what we are seeing. What we are seeing is that when we talked about energy on some other panel and about the difficulties of making those costs reasonable. We are talking about payroll, which is just, there is only one option on payroll. It's going up, right? There is absolutely no other way, right? And then it's all about the margins and profitabilities to the investors in order for them to justify their decisions, right? So I think there is a lot of evolution that we will see in the hospitality business. And I think it's more going towards the process of service is just another add-on, like mini bar or a just nice bed and a nice experience, right? So probably that will be the evolution, right? But we need to those things, because when you start talking about technology, we can immediately go out of what hospitality.
I think that we're very much romanticizing what is hospitality, and that's wonderful. We're very passionate about the industry. I want to give you two examples from history. Everybody knows what the John Deere company is? Make tractors, right? You know what they made 150 years ago? Wagons, pulled by horses. But then somebody invented the internal combustion engine, and they stopped making wagons because they knew that day that they would not be needed anymore. So as hoteliers, we need to look at the environment that we work in and think, is there anything out there that could make us obsolete? What are the real shifts out there that could affect our business? So there's another story out there. Late 90s, there was a massive retail company called HMV that sold records and CDs and music. And the CEO famously said, and I don't want to misquote, but people will always want to come and browse physically when they buy the music. And that's why they didn't get into the downloading and internet space of music. Let's think about that today. How just an upgrade. And when you think about that, Blockbuster went out of business because they didn't go online, right? Where are we in this space, right? Are we the dinosaurs sitting there? We didn't realize that the planet was hit, that the darkness is coming, and we are now debating if we're serving, with candles or serving with flashlights, right? We have to find a way to get around this. And here's a third story. And this is coming from a movie. Minority Report. Anybody remember that? Tom Cruise is running away from the future police, and he's getting into a shopping mall. And he's immediately recognized. He immediately gets the most tailored service selling solution in his face about everything. It doesn't get more personalized than that. Let's present value it today. When we have an American guest traveling to an American brand, coming from Paris to Rome, who is serving that lady in reception, this visitor, whether that's on business, whether that's for leisure, it will be somebody that came from a completely different country, doesn't speak the local language, doesn't speak English, and if they do it, they speak it with a heavy accent. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing authentic about that to Rome or to the American brand or to the guest. That's reality. So we can talk about This is today. This is not, and it's been going on for some time. I doubt I'm telling anything new. So we need to think what is the real value that the guest is seeing, and I come back to the first principle of it, and that's location. So if you take a building in the middle of Bucharest, middle of Rome, middle of London, it doesn't matter, and you stick a Hyatt on it, a Corinthia on it, a Marriott on it, a Hilton on it, an Intercontinental on it, it will work. The one thing that is absolutely necessary there is not which brand it is, it's the building. So, and the second thing that is important there is the guest. We need the people to come, and we need to look after the people that come to us. So the brand to me is secondary. I don't want to say anecdotal because that would be rude. It's not true. It's not what I'm trying to say. But we need to find the guests, and we need to ask them what they want and why they come to see us, and look at them, even if we don't like it. Even if we don't like the guest, it doesn't matter.
It's true, especially just, exactly like our colleagues said here, you know, sometimes experience is different. Experience is not defined anymore about, you know, so simple, leisure or business. So it's about mood, about how was the low-cost flight, how was, you know, check-in formalities and stuff like this. And finally, maybe it will arrive to be about location, investment, what the guest will find in terms of experience, and this is depending on the money he is willing to pay. You know, how the carpet it is, how it's approach from the entrance, I don't know. And from an AI which is handling all his needs, or is just a bed, a normal, correct bed with a bathroom, and that's all. And maybe it will become more and more about experience through services provided by people, unfortunately. I'm not saying this will be, but like, of course, like you said, we have to ask about it. And I'm so very happy that I made everybody pissed off, because like this,
you sparked
big
such
brains.
a conversation, Anka. Thank you so much. Because we still have 5 minutes, I will take this advantage. Yes, please, Chris.
I have a suggestion. No, it's okay, because it's, speaking about technology, of course, we cannot deny it. We like it or not, but speaking about the human contact, it's important too. And I may say we have to put, somebody said, the technology to serve us, not to serve the client. That means induction, training can be done very well, and you can achieve things like, I don't know, in a few days you take the person from the field, the rice field, and the second day, of course, it will be not in the reception, but it will be in the housekeeping, and they will do perfect whatever you have to do in the according with let's say the requirements of the brand or whatever. Yeah, that is. But I do believe that personalized service will come in the moment we'll have the possibility to profile the client. And in this respect, I may say that brands, chains, they are able to do more in this respect than one hotel business. Why? Because you cannot acquire that kind of data, and that will be important. In that case, of course, the human contact will be important, the way you furnish your service. So basically, I may say in this moment is that step which will be very soon. China is doing it, yeah? The big mistake, I may say, is that they are doing it with robots, yeah? But you can do it with well-informed and trained personnel, yeah? And in that case, there will be not a big problem to, let's say, operate 3 months a year, because for the summertime you can have like McDonald's, how long it takes to train a McDonald's? A few. No, not. They can be able to serve in a McDonald's in 3 hours. That the induction is done. Yeah. Before it was done.
The 5th day they are running.
No, but it's nothing new, the idea, the way you do it now. Yeah. So I may say it's not really, of course, the soft part of operating, it's important the destination plus location. Because you can have a location, a perfect location in the middle of a city, but it's not your destination, or neither business or leisure. So basically, it's quite difficult. Of course, you can overcome this. You'll overcome trying to do a new destination from a location which until then. And I have a question for you. You said that you set up a DMC because a few years ago, 4 years ago.
DMO, Destination Management Organization. The
It's
law
an
passed it.
organization, it's not a company, not a destination.
No
manager.
private company,
And
it's a law.
How it works?
Yes.
Even a destination managing company is not a private or state. It's a mixture.
It's actually working like a company because it's handling money, budgets, big budgets.
Exactly.
They'll give you Constanța, for example.
And
has-
Brasov, they had in
and
Brasov,
Brasov-
Poiana, Brasov too.
Or
But they
Romanian
didn't work.
Black Sea Coast we have everywhere, but I choose Constanța because it's handling around 2 million euro budget annually. So it's
It
an
works.
important, yes, it works. So it's like a law, which actually is not like, it's a law which give the legal right to private sectors from tourists to take decision regarding natural and anthropic touristic resources together with a local mayory. So if they like it or not, when they are handling hospitality, they have to ask us and work together with us for everything.
But
How you are cleaning the destination, how you make, I don't know, accessibility, which program from infrastructure to invest, how to spend money for it, how to make architecture, green architecture, how to inform tourists and potential tourists, how to reach the potential tourists, so how is marketing strategy and how is promotion and how you are spending the money for promotion. So it's very important for Romania, was very important because all the money from the taxes paid by us.
That was how it's found.
Yes.
Taxes, yeah?
Taxes. So first you have
Is the owner?
promotion tax, which is, of course, doesn't raise so much money and is paid by the owners, by the companies, to say like this. But the big bucks you are taking in for, of course, city tax. So tourists which are paying a tax. By tourists arrived, not visitors. Visitors is just, they are not staying over the night. The one which are staying over the night, they are paying. And depending of location in Romania, they are paying on the first night or on the entire vacation. The public and private sector choose depending of the location in Romania.
Thank you so much, because we will have to leave the floor for the other panel. I love the fact that we have sparked a little bit of dialogue. I hope you will continue during Invest today and tomorrow at Edu Day. Thank you everyone so much. There are a couple of takeaways, and an interesting one which remained into my mind, it was the intervention from the lady from Danubius. It means that we need to pay more attention to our guests because our needs are more complex now. What we want at this hour, it doesn't fit with what we want next hour, so we need to develop on that. This is my takeaway. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a nice day at Invest.